Hey everyone, Northway Power Washing bringing you a video today about pressure washers. This is one of the main pieces of equipment you're going to need for your pressure washing business, and we're going to show you why. Pressure washers like this are skid mounted. This is not something you'd find at the big box store that is on a wheeled cart that you take around with you while you're washing. This is meant to stay with your truck or with your trailer. It gets bolted right down. These are the rubber mounting pucks that go underneath, stop it from vibrating all over. These pressure washers have four main parts. The first part is this engine. This is a single cylinder Kohler 430cc engine. It is electric start. That's a nice feature it has with a recoil backup. This one is carbureted with a manual throttle. You can spend some more money and get some upgrades. You can get fuel injection, auto throttle, and electric start. Those are a little more money. They're nice to have. The fuel injection is nice. You don't want to mess with a carburetor, but single cylinder engine with a small carburetor like this, they're not too bad to maintain. If you know a little bit about small engines, you can deal with it. The next part is this piece right here. This is the gear drive. This gear drive is a 2-to-1. That's what most of them are. I'll explain that in a minute, why it's so important and why that's what makes these pressure washers much better than the ones you're buying in the big box stores. The pressure pump is this part here, pretty self-explanatory. It's called a triplex plunger pump. Water comes in, pistons push back and forth, collapsing the water, making pressure. This last part here is the external unloader. The water comes out here pressurized. If you're not squeezing the trigger on your pressure washing gun, it has nowhere to go. The pressure pump will keep building pressure. It has to unload somewhere. There's a spring inside of here. It will push the water out this outlet back into your water tank, so it's not building too much pressure in here. Those small pressure washers that you're buying that say they're commercial from Tractor Supply, Harbor Freight, the other places, what they do is unload the water from one side of the pump back to the other. They're just constantly moving it a few inches. That's not enough to unload enough pressure. Big units like this, you want to run a 1/4 inch or 3/8 line all the way back to your tank. Dump the water back in there. The inlet down here on this pressure pump is a hose barb. This is not made to have a garden hose screwed into it like those other ones. This is a 1 inch. You can get away with probably a 3/4 on these. That's what the threaded side is. I like to put 1 inch on everything of mine just for simplicity's sake, because I switch these around a lot. So you will need a 1 inch suction line, similar to this blue one I've got here. I got a couple feet cut off. So you heat that up, put a hose clamp on it, slide it on there, clamp it down really well. You don't want any air getting into this pump. Air causes cavitation. When there's an air pocket in the pump, it causes a lot of wear in these things. They're very expensive. You don't want to do that. So you need a constant static draw of water. You want a big tank full of water. It will pull it from that tank. It doesn't need to have head pressure, which is your garden hose at home when you turn that hose bib on and it shoves water in. 50% of that is air. All that air pockets cause cavitation, which is why you don't want it. It draws off of a tank. Going back to this gear reduction, why this is important on these, you can get gear drive or belt drive. They do the same thing. A belt drive would just have a sprocket or a pulley on the end of the engine, a sprocket or a pulley on the pump, and a belt in between, similar to how a motorcycle drives. Harley Davidsons have that. There's the belt that drives the rear end. Gear drive is the same thing. It's a little bit of a smaller package. It's enclosed. You don't have to tighten a gear drive, whereas a belt would loosen over time. You tighten it up. A little bit of maintenance. The maintenance with a gear drive is there is an oil sump in here. There's gear oil. You will have to. There's a sight glass on the other side. It holds not that many. It's a few ounces of oil, but there's some heavyweight gear oil in there you have to maintain. The reason it's a 2-to-1 is this engine spins at a maximum horsepower or torque RPM of about 3,000. This pump, it says it right on it. I know you can't see it. Makes its best pressure at around 1,500 RPM. If you'll notice, the pump needs to spin half the speed of the engine. That's why this is a 2-to-1 reduction. It will take this engine spinning at full throttle, maximum RPM, maximum torque, maximum horsepower it's putting out, most efficient, spins this gear drive. That much engine speed will only spin the pump half as much. So your 3,000 RPM engine will spin the pump at 1,500 RPMs, putting out the most efficient pressure. If you were spinning the pump even faster, 3,000 RPMs, it would do it. It's not going to create any more pressure. All it's going to do is wear out the pump faster. It creates a lot of heat, a lot of wear, and that is what you're getting with these big box stores pressure washers, because they have what's called a direct drive. This pump will be hooked directly to the engine. There will be no gear drive or belt drive in between. It will simply be the shaft of the pump is hooked directly to the crankshaft on that engine. So when that engine is throttled up at 3,000 RPMs, making all kinds of noise, thinking you're making all kinds of pressure, you're not. It's simply pushing it out at the same as it would normally be. All you're doing is wearing out that pump. These pressure washers are more up front. This unit's right around $2,000. You can spend more, like I said, if you want the features, if you want fuel injection, electric start, some other things, you'll spend a little more. You're probably up around $2,500 for these. This one's about 5.5 gallons a minute. Once you get up to the 8 gallon a minute, 10 gallon a minute models, you'll be looking at probably a V-twin engine, 600, 700, 800 cc's. You're going to be spending $3,000 or $4,000 for those. They will definitely be electric start. There's not a lot of recoils on the big 800s. They'd be pretty hard to pull start. You can do it, but they'd almost certainly come with electric start. Going back to this unloader, a couple more things. Downstreaming is something that's very popular. It is considered soft washing. You can apply a chemical mix through downstreaming. That would be done right here with a chemical injector. I attached about a 4-foot whip line here. There's one of my guns on it just to show you. You'd attach your pressure hose here on your pressure washer and run to your hose reel. If you don't have a hose reel, you would just attach all your hose here and drag it around with you and have to hand coil it back up. The chemical injector goes downstream of the pump. That's the whole idea of downstreaming. You'd never want to introduce chemical, especially bleach, into this pump. You'd never want it going in. You only want the chemical being introduced downstream. That's why they call it that. In order to downstream, you have to have low pressure introduced after the high pressure. So what you need is a soft wash nozzle. So I attached my pressure gun here. I just use pistol grips. I never use those big 3-foot long guns that look cool. I don't think they serve any purpose unless you're doing something where you need to be far away from it, but for soft washing, you don't need them. So we've got some wide fan tips here, some shooter tips. These are all soft washing tips. This will create enough low pressure to draw off that. What you would do is get some 1/4-inch hose. I have some here with a little filter rigged up. You put that 1/4-inch hose on that chemical injector, drop it into your bleach tank, your bleach mix, whatever you've got, and it will pull through there. These are pressure washing tips here. These are very narrow angle. That's for pressure washing. If you attach one of these to that gun, it wouldn't draw out of that chemical injector. You'd get nothing out of there. There is another option. It's called X-jetting. X-jets are a brand. It's another brand of downstreaming. This is an X-jet nozzle. I think I used it one time the past few years. Not a fan of it. What you have to do with X-jetting is you attach that nozzle to your gun. You can use any nozzle really. You put the chemical injector right at the base of your gun and you drop your hose in your bucket and you carry the bucket around with you. It's really inefficient. You do get a slightly stronger mix with X-jetting. With a downstreamer, you're going to get about a 10-to-1. I have another video I'll go over how to measure downstream injection strength. This is what downstream injectors look like when you get them. You can buy them anywhere off Amazon. These are usually General Pump makes these. This is what they look like when you buy them. If you are downstreaming, I suggest you have 2 or 3 on hand. They fail that often. This is what they look like when they're all set up. This one does have an aftermarket check valve on it. This is a stainless steel check valve I like to put on them. They're much better than the little brass one that they come with. But always have your quick connect set up, the plug and socket. So when that thing does fail, you can pull it right out of there, slap on a new one, get through the day. When you get home, you pull it apart, clean it, and it'll be ready in a couple days. I have another video where I measure these, show you how to clean them, put them back together. But that's it for this pressure washing video. Be sure to leave us a comment. Any questions you have, we'll go over it. But definitely, you're going to need a pressure washer for your pressure washing, soft washing business. This is definitely something you want to get. Avoid those big box stores versions. Thanks.